Now, who is playing the Hermes game? Hi everyone, I'm the Traveling Gay Panda and welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching. I post about things luxury, travel, and lifestyle, and this is about luxury, specifically Hermes and the Hermes game. Now, if you clicked on this video because of the title, then chances are you probably know a lot more about Hermes than I do. For those that don't, Hermes is one of the ultra luxury fashion brands in the world, originating in high quality saddle making and eventually crossing over into the billion-dollar industry of fashion. Last year, in March of 2024, clients in San Francisco filed a lawsuit against Hermes because they weren't allowed to buy one of their bags. Now, I can't even begin to discuss what the lawsuit says or what it means or where it is right now or anything outside of the headline I read, but the lawsuit, at least from what I saw, was the catalyst to the question that a lot of people are asking: why are people playing the Hermes game? In order to understand the game or the journey, we need to talk about what Hermes sells. Hermes sells anything from cosmetics to tableware, home decor, small leather goods, jewelry, ready-to-wear clothes, shoes, and of course, bags. Their most sought-after bags are undoubtedly the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance. Their other bags include the Picotin, the Evelyn, the Herbag, the Garden Party, and many, many more. But the Birkin, Kelly, and sometimes the Constance are by far the most sought after and what are referred to as the quota bags, meaning there is an ambiguous quota that needs to be met before these bags are even offered to you to buy. Now here's where the issue is with consumers. Imagine your mom's milestone birthday coming up and she's been wanting a Birkin 30 her whole life. So you and your siblings pool your money together to buy a Birkin. You go to an Hermes boutique, you see a beautiful brown 30, Birkin 30 behind a glass display. You ask the SA to buy it, only to be rejected because you haven't met the quota. Would you be mad? No, not really. Okay, well, let's continue the story. You do some research and see that the quote to spend before being offered a bag isn't set and could range anywhere from 2 to 1 to 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. What that means is, let's say a Birkin costs $10,000. At the lowest end, you'd have to spend $20,000 on other Hermes products, then another $10,000 on the bag, totaling a total of $30,000 that you've spent. And that's if you beat the luxury gods ratios. Well, how's the story going so far? Are you mad? No? Okay. So you've put it in your mind that you're going to be spending $20,000 to $30,000 because you have the income and you wanted other items from Hermes anyway. You still don't know when you're going to be offered a bag. It could take 2 weeks or it could take a full year. Finally, after waiting, let's say 2 months, you get a call from your SA saying, I have a Birkin bag for you and I'll set it aside for you if you want it. Finally, after waiting, let's say 2 months, you get a call from your SA saying, I have a Birkin bag for you and I'll set it aside for you if you want it. You go to the boutique excited and dressed up to the nines. Your SA wears their white gloves and unboxes a Birkin 30. Finally! But it's in rose sakura. Now you have two options. You can say, yes, I'll take it, pay the $10,000 and be on your merry way, even if it's not the color you wanted. Or two, say no, I only want a brown Birkin 30 and walk away. Now let's talk about the possible consequences of both choices. If you say yes, then you'll walk home with a Birkin bag, albeit not in the color you wanted. Now, if you still want a brown Birkin, you'll have to build up, again, that 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 ratio before being offered. Also, there's a limit to 2 quota bags from Hermes in a given year, so there's no telling when you'll be offered that brown bag. Now, if you say no to the blue bag, your 2 to 1 quota ratio is still valid, but now you've potentially offended the brand. They've offered you this high-ticket, highly sought-after bag, and you're not going to buy it? How dare you? Now, you might not be considered such a loyal Hermes customer, and you might not be offered anything at all going forward. Will they tell you that? Well, of course not, but it's implied. Now, are you mad yet? I mean, of course you are. You spent at least $20,000, waited months to be offered a bag that you didn't even want. Of course you're mad. But this is why people refer to it as the Hermes game or journey, because like a video game, you go through side quests, you do other things before you get the final prize. I can't speak to the whole population, but from what I've seen, people have commented very poorly about people who are proudly declaring or documenting their Hermes journey, saying they're financially irresponsible, it's a poor way to spend money, it's frivolous, it's vain, or people are just outright stupid for playing into the game of the corporation. I gave one example with two extremes, and I can't really speak from experience, but those are the big options that I've seen discussed and from my hundreds of hours of watching YouTubers unbox Hermes. But that doesn't mean those are your only two options. When you go to an Hermes store, you're assigned an SA. If you vibe really well with that SA, then you might have a better relationship to say strictly, I don't want anything else other than an Hermes 30 in boxed leather, gold hardware, brown, that's it. I'm not considering anything else. And if your relationship is good enough, then maybe your SA can be more of an advocate for you and really push for you to get that. And if there are other products, they won't be so, willy-nilly just giving it to you or saying, here's something for you. Oh, you don't like this? Too bad. And now another option is for people to go the pre-loved route. Because the supply is so low and the demand is so high for these quota bags, these bags are often found on the pre-loved market at a much higher price point than what they sell them at the boutique. Let's say you want a mini Kelly, which is arguably one of the hardest and rarest things to be offered from Hermes. You see it at a pre-loved, and that at the boutique would cost $25,000. You see it online in a pre-loved market for $30,000. That's an extra $5,000 that you're going to have to spend on the pre-loved route. Well, you would think that it's an extra $5,000. In fact, you're probably saving yourself close to $45,000 if you go the pre-loved route. Because if we think back again from the quota or the ratio of 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, if a bag is costing $25,000, then you'd have to spend $50,000 on any Hermes products before being offered that 25. So in total, you'd be spending $75,000. So if you think $75,000 versus the $30,000, the pre-loved route, that's a difference of $45,000. Maybe the pre-loved route is the way to go if that's how you want to go. Now, as for me, what do I think about the Hermes game or the journey? Well, I think the game is simply that. It's a game for the ultra wealthy, that 1% who has that disposable income to spare. It's for the millionaires or the billionaires who can afford a $30,000 or $40,000 chessboard, wait a few months, and unbox a bag with a surprise factor. They don't know what hardware it is, they don't know what color it is, they don't know what kind of leather it is, they don't know the size. It's a game. It's a prize for a game that the ultra wealthy play. And not everyone can play that game, unfortunately, but then you just don't play that game. I am not part of the ultra wealthy, and I am not anywhere near that tax bracket, so I will not be playing the game. One, because I just can't afford to, and two, because the quota bags aren't really my type of design. I wouldn't really go for a Birkin, I wouldn't know where to wear a Kelly. The Constance is probably the only one that I would consider, but that's not really for me either. Now, in my experience shopping at Hermes, I do like their products, and I'm probably going to keep buying from them. My spending the purchases that I make from Hermes aren't going to be going towards a quota bag because that's just not something I want. But I'll probably get there over the next few years. Who knows? I can't really say never. I wouldn't put a Birkin or Kelly on my wish list. Actually, the only bag that I would want from Hermes is like a Picotin or like the mini Her bag. But neither of them are a quota bag, so they don't really require like a pre-spend. At the end of the day, if you don't like the game, then just don't play the game. I'm pretty disappointed in people who make fun of other people for being on their Hermes journey or Hermes game. I think if you have that income, if you're financially set and if you're financially responsible, then spend your money however you want. My partner really likes cars, so he looks at cars. The way you spend your money is your own business and it's not anyone else's, as long as you're doing it responsibly and you're not hurting other people. I could spend an extra $1,000 or $2,000 flying in business class or first class, but I choose not to because I want to use that extra $1,000 or $2,000 on like a nice experience, maybe like a private, boating trip on the islands or something, or I could spend that on a bag. So people prioritize things differently. I don't think it's anyone's business to make fun of other people for that if they're doing it responsibly. Now, after all of that, what do you think about the Hermes game? Are you in it? Are you playing it? Did you win it? Want to share down below? Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Safe travels. Bye.